Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my playthrough. This is number 3 of Fallout, the Unarmed series. Something happened with the audio while recording this, so I'm just putting a narration over the uh, soundless video, so I apologize for this. Hopefully this won't happen again. I have no idea what happened, but there's absolutely no sound other than me, so uh, I'm watching along with you guys and just trying to put in my from what I remember of what was happening. So we're headed back to Moria Brown and we're going to continue the survival guide. And I know this is going to be hard because there's absolutely no sound, but um, like I said, I really don't want to cut this part out because this is a couple quests, and I'm sure you guys want to see it. And she does have one of the more annoying voices in the game, so I'm sure you're probably not too upset about not having to put up with her for once. Okay, this I was just turning in the landmine or the minefield quest from our last LP. After we got all blown up and everything. Actually, I did have a problem with that save as well because I have another character on here as well, and I accidentally saved over that. So if anything looks a little different, like my stats or whatever, if anybody remembers that, it's because I accidentally saved over and had to run back through the minefield. Also, I did go online, do a little bit of research, and found a way to uh, keep it from crashing as much or freezing up. And it seems to work. I made it through this episode anyway, at least a half hour of playing with no freezes this time. So hopefully we won't have that distraction to deal with anymore. Yeah, I can't say it's going to work 100% of the time because I just don't expect it to. The game freezes anyway, so I think what the issue was is uh, my computer's a little too sophisticated to run this game. I've got a quad core processor. I know, quad core woohoo, but the game can only seem to handle dual cores, so I just had to change some settings to limit the use of two cores to the game, and it seemed to help. So anyway, now we're getting set off on uh, probably my two least favorite quests in this survival guide. I don't know why, no particular reason, just not my favorite. We're gonna have to go do the whack-a-mole. We have to get a stick that Moria makes for us, and we have to go whack some mole rats, and the Mirelurks. We gotta sneak into their little hideout, and I think it's Anchorage Memorial is where they're hiding out. So we're off to do that now. Oh, yeah, I had to stop back at my lockers because she didn't have any caps from the last time we dealt with her, and I always like to drop everything off that I don't need before I start a quest, just so I can pick up everything, because I'm a loot hoarder, and I like to have as much room as possible to pick stuff up, and you never know what you're going to come across, and it always sucks, always having to try to remember where somebody was if they drop something that you really want, and you just don't have enough room in your inventory for it. I know I said in the past that I use this locker specifically for crafting stuff, and I do put Nuka-Colas in there, and I don't know if I talked about this in the past, but there is a perk that you can get later on in the game. I believe it's called Quantum Chemistry or something like that. It's along that line, but basically for every 10 regular Nuka-Colas you have in your inventory, it automatically converts it to one Nuka-Cola Quantum. And the Nuka-Cola Quantum, of course, is to make the Nuka grenades, which is the most powerful grenade in the game. I believe it has the exact same damage as the Bottle Cap Mine, which is also the uh, uh, highest damage landmine in the game. So it's kind of nice that the highest damage explosives in the game are the ones that you can make. So it's always fun if you like your explosives, which I do. But for this playthrough, trying to avoid at all costs using everything but the unarmed ability. Of course, in this quest, we're not going to be able to because we have to use the melee weapon. Just part of the quest. Really can't help it. Yeah, I could have skipped the quest, but I mean, I don't think it's taken anything away from the playthrough. Yeah, I've killed more than 10 mole rats and using my unarmed ability, and that's what we have to kill in this part in this quest in order to get the optional part of it done as well, is to kill 10 mole rats with the repellent stick, or I'm sorry, not kill, but test out her device on 10 mole rats. And I know for sure there's going to be one other point where I'm going to have to use a weapon, and that's going to be coming up when we move the story along, when we go to uh, DC, which is actually our next stop after we decide to move forward with the quests, with the main story quest, because there's going to be a super mutant behemoth, I believe it's called, and there's just no way we'd ever be able to go toe to toe with it, punching it. Um, it's actually you actually get it's called Fat Man, I think it's called, which actually shoots the mini nukes that you see throughout the game. But other than that, I think that'll probably be about the only two times in the game I'll actually have to use a weapon other than you know uh, fist weapons. And if we make it to level 18 through the playthrough, I believe it's level 18, we could get something called a perk called Paralyzing Palm, which gives you a pretty high chance of paralyzing anyone anytime you use a unarmed attack on them. But I don't even think you can have knuckles on for it to work. I think you have to be completely barehand. Okay, yeah, this is where we need to come to do the next part in her quest, which I wish she could give you more than one at a time to do. Because here's where the Mirelurks are, then the mole rats are just on the other side of this. I got attacked by the Talon Company mercenaries. You run into these guys a lot. I believe it's uh, part of what the game calls random encounters. There's uh, a pool of possible encounters that you can get when you enter certain areas in the game, certain areas on the map, and I believe they can only be triggered once uh, per time that you uh, come across an area. But you can have the same random encounter. It seems you know as many times as you want. So if there's something you're actually looking for, you can quick save it before you come to a place. Like if you're trying to find the wounded death claw, so you can make a death claw gauntlet, then you can save, and they have all that stuff on a wiki on which possible encounters will happen at which spot in the map. Here we go again with another you know guy using a melee weapon blocking me, driving me crazy. I'd rather deal with a guy with a gun any day other than trying to punch a guy with a melee or unarmed ability, because it can seem to block much better than you can for whatever reason. After they block you, it seems like it's at least a good full second and a half before you can punch, and they can continue swinging at you and doing whatever. But they do have the Talon armor, which is pretty good armor for as light as it is. It protects you about as well as the power armor does, and doesn't weigh anywhere near as much. So I kind of like it when these guys attack you, and I do run into this random encounter several times, it seems. Through any time I do a playthrough, I'm always getting attacked by these guys. Okay, so now we're headed over to a place called the Tepid Sewers, and that's where the mole rats are going to be. And this is the entrance right here, I believe. Yes, it is. Alright, so I need to get into my inventory and get my repellent stick, so I can go play some whack-a-mole. Now, if I remember right, yeah, I mean, I could. That should have been the quest right there. Yeah. I really can't say if. I don't think you get really anything too good for completing the rest of the optional quest, but like I said, I think the book turns out different, and you may even get some more experience points for doing the optional parts of the quest, so I go ahead and do it anyway. And for whatever reason, you can't whack a turret with a stick. The repellent stick just doesn't work on the turret. Don't know why. It's a weapon, but it just doesn't. There is another named bandit, or raider. Sorry, Skyrim got me calling the bad guys bandits. But yeah, there is a named raider in this uh, area, and I believe they you can collect a bounty on them depending on some stuff later in the game. But I ended up killing her. I think it's for like the slavers. A lot of these named guys like that sniper at the minefield. You can turn him into slavers later in the game, but I'm not going to be doing that. So I really didn't need to keep that guy alive. It seems that when we went to the minefield. I believe her name's something like Rock Salt. Yeah. And she's got the first combat shotgun I think we've seen. Whenever I use small guns, shotguns are always one of my favorite weapons to use. Actually, use well, my main character, the first playthrough I did, it did have my sneak up quite a bit. Actually, I think I had it maxed out, and I would sneak up and try to get a headshot either with a sniper rifle or a hunting rifle, or later in the game you get lever action rifles through the DLC, and I would do that. You get a critical hit from the sneaking, Then when they got close, you know, just blow their heads off with a shotgun, and it made quick work of most people. And there's a bunch of raiders if you go uh, the way he came from, and the mole rats are the other way. And we're gonna head the other way, of course, but just try to finish up this quest because there's another one I'm gonna do in this playthrough or in this episode. So I will just try to make it quick. This video is a little bit longer than the last one, but a lot shorter than the first one. It's about a half hour, which is about the ideal time that I want to try to keep these videos around. I was happy with the 20 minutes, but both of these quests are a little too short to make an entire episode out of, but couldn't quite do it in 20 minutes, so there we go. 10, 10 more mole rats whacked, and now we have to head back to Moria and get the second quest of the day, and we'll take care of the Mirelurks. And I really wish I knew why the sound didn't record on this. After I recorded this, I did 2 or 3, 10, 15, 20-second test videos, and sound worked fine, never changed anything, so I don't know what happened. I am using OBS, which is what I used to stream with, and uh, I don't know. I mean, it's free software, so I mean, I guess you expect this stuff to happen sometimes. Okay, now we have to go rest up, sleep for a while, since Crater Side's going to be closed since it's the middle of the night, and we could use the healing anyway. And of course, got to put all the stuff away that we don't need. And I don't think she's going to have any caps. I believe this is the same as Skyrim, where you have to be out of the area for 2 days, I believe it is, before the merchants will actually refill their currency. Because I don't think that. Well, no, you can wait outside the shop for 48 hours even, and she'll have caps again. So she might actually have some caps that we can sell some of the stuff in that locker for. That's kind of my money dump locker there, all the stuff that we need to sell. Which is the one thing I really don't like about oh these last couple games from Bethesda was their merchants having absolutely no money. And I mean, yeah, and I guess it's realistic, but you know, it just, I mean, you just end up with a bunch of crap, and you never anybody to sell it to because everybody runs out of caps, and you have to sit outside their shop and just sit there and wait and wait and wait to sell their stuff. And I don't know, I kind of liked it better back in Oblivion, where yeah, the merchants had a certain a limit on how much they actually had, but you can you know sell for stuff up to that amount over and over and over again without having to wait. I can kind of see the reason behind it, but at the same time, I'd rather not have to spend half my playtime waiting outside a shop just to sell a bunch of crap that I can't get rid of. Okay, now we gotta tell her that her little stick did more than repel the mole rats, that it kind of made their heads explode. Now what does she give us? I don't even remember what we get for this. Guess we'll find out here shortly. Ah, that's right. We got just some chems, and the chems are for the optional part of the quest. Actually, you only get experience if you don't do the optional part for that one. And now she's gonna send us off to do the Mirelurks. This quest took me forever the first time I did it, so I kind of did it the hard way. Like I said, my first character, I concentrated a lot more on the sneak ability, so I wanted to sneak past all these things because that's the optional part of this quest, is to do it without killing anything or killing any of the Mirelurks. So I just wanted to sneak past everything, and it took me forever. But now I just kind of run in, plant the little tracking thing that she wants, then uh, I just run out. And since we already had this place discovered, just fast travel here. And there's a door right here that would have got me a lot closer to where I wanted to go, but my lockpick skill is pretty low. I am gonna have to get that up to 50 before too long, but I don't think I've raised it at all yet. And I don't think it's actually possible to get into this place unless you have a bobby pin, so make sure you got one and you know how to use it before you come here, because this door is even locked. But it's very easy, so as long as you got a bobby pin, and you get in without a problem. Alright, so now I just run like crazy. This place isn't very big, but I'm sure I'll end up getting lost in it, because I always do. I always get lost in every little place, because that's what Fallout loves to do, just make everything look the same, so makes it easy to get lost. Okay, and we already came to the area with the eggs. You just put the little tracking device in there. There you go, and you just turn around and leave. Then I have a whole train of Mirelurks following me, so I couldn't exactly just turn around to leave. And there we go. First death of the Let's Play. And in case anyone's wondering, I am playing on the normal setting, default setting. I didn't want to bump it up to hard or very hard, just because I figured this playthrough would be pretty challenging, not using any weapons. But I may consider upping the difficulty a little bit, because I'm surprised that's the first time we've died. Or not we, but I've died. So I don't know. We'll see how things go later. May end up upping the difficulty just a little. Of course, I mean, watching this now, I can tell this isn't the way I came, so yep, I'm lost yet again. This is exactly why I always carry a compass with me if I'm ever out hiking or doing anything outdoors, because when I was a kid, I used to get lost all the time in restaurants. I'd go to the bathroom, and usually my parents would have to come find me because I could never find my way back to where we was sitting. A little AI. AI amazes me sometimes in this game. It's like these characters um, do some stuff that's uh, pretty impressive the way the AI works. They'll try to corner you, and like that guy. Yeah, I don't know. I always found it kind of impressive. All right, this looks like the exit here. Yep. Yeah, well, it's a good thing the sound's not working now, because I'm sure that sound drive you guys nuts too. The sound of the beating heart when your HP gets low. Because I didn't want to waste any stim packs healing it up, especially because I'm back at home now and just be able to rest here. But yeah, now she's gonna give us a she's gonna give us a hat and like a recon hat, I believe. Yeah, I think it has +5 sneak and some armor to it. And she's also gonna give us some stealth boys, which are pretty awesome items when you need them. They basically raise your sneak skill all the way to 100 and give you a larger perception field as well. And it makes you turn invisible. Well, invisible to an extent. I mean, you look invisible, but it's the same as having 100 sneak skill. I mean, yeah, you can get away with a lot, but you could still be seen if you're running around in daylight right in front of somebody. Shady Hat, that's what it's called. Yeah, this is the last quest we're going to do for today. Guess I really apologize for the lack of sound on this episode. Hopefully, we can prevent this from happening again. But hey, we did make it through the entire episode without a freeze, crash, whatever. So the uh, quick fix really seemed to work. Uh, Maybe in my next video or something, I'll put a or I'll put a link in this description, since I'm brought it up in this video, of the link where I found the information of how to do that. So if anyone's having problems, if anyone's still playing this game and they want to record it and are having problems with it freezing, I'll leave a link in the description for that. At this point, I believe I may, yeah, we'll do the Robco quest first. Um, just because the other two quests are gonna have to send us through the DC ruins, and we have to go there to progress the story. So we'll go ahead and tomorrow, when on the next episode, we'll go ahead and do the Robco, and uh, we'll get a jump on getting to the the next part in the game, because it does take a while to get through the metro systems to get where we're gonna need to be going. So uh, we'll probably yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the Robco quest, and also probably get at least get to the DC, or whatever the galaxy place is called, and that's where we'll have to continue the story from. I took the Iron Fist there. I believe that adds 5 to the unarmed skill. It doesn't seem to raise it permanently like I thought it did. But that's going to be all for this playthrough. Like I said, sorry for the sound, but we'll be back tomorrow with a another episode, and hopefully we'll have sound.